Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to ShortSalePowerHour.com. My name is Fred Weaver. I'll be joined in a minute by my partner, Kevin Kauffman. We're Group 4610, Arizona's premier short sale team, and you're watching ShortSalePowerHour.com. Hey guys, we've spent a little time this week. Actually, we had a really good Mindset Monday that had nothing to do with title, but yesterday we talked a little bit around
everything
and everything to do with title. We talked around padding the estimated HUD.
Yeah.
And so encourage you to go back and watch that video. And some people had actually want to know sometimes, well, what do you pad and all that kind of stuff. This is where the importance of having a really good title officer comes into play. So understand, guys, that the reason you need a good title or escrow officer is that they have to have this outback mindset that you hear us talk about a lot. They've got to have a mindset that understands that you're going to estimate some fees higher than maybe you normally would in a normal transaction, but you're dealing with an abnormal animal called a short sale.
Just like on our side in real estate, not every agent is created equal, and not every agent is going to be built to be successful at short sales.
Sure.
I think we can all agree on that. Well, guys, it's the same thing on the title side of things. The transaction is different for them, just like it's different for us. I mean, we put so much requests and stress on that relationship and this process that's different from typical real estate, if you will, that it requires a different mindset. And so if you've got, I'm not making fun of anybody, but if you've got Sally, escrow officer, who's been in the escrow business for 27 and a half years and always done things one way, and you ask her to work on a short sale and pad fees for you and create multiple HUDs, one for the first lender, one for the second lender, and things like that, you're going to get a little resistance there, and you may want to consider the mindset of the person you're working with. Not that there's something wrong with Sally.
No.
There certainly isn't.
We love Sally.
Sally's a great woman, in fact. But the problem is that's going to be outside of Sally's box. You want to get somebody with a different profile.
You had to name her Sally.
Well, I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind, Fred.
Got it. So understand, guys, mindset of your escrow or title officer is really important.
Yeah.
Also, the work ethic as well as the urgency level of your title officer is important.
That's a good one, Fred.
And what I mean by that is that there's going to be times in a transaction where you need a HUD like ASAP to postpone a foreclosure sale date, or a lender wants you to remove a fee and you need to get it over to them so they can review it to postpone a sale date, or you're coming up against a wall where the buyer, you've only locked them into the contract for 90 days, for example, in our process, and they're threatening to walk if you don't have an approval, and so you're rushing things. So you need an escrow officer that understands that banks sit around and pick their nose, or so it seems, for a long time, and then all of a sudden they drop the hammer on you and they need something
you got
instantly.
24 hours.
So you've got to run to get it. And I'm kind of joking around with the pick the nose. I know they're working on more files than they can handle, but there are some nose pickers in the banks.
It just feels like there's nose pickers.
There's
sometimes.
nose pickers in real estate.
There's definitely some nose picking going on.
I get it. I don't know how we got on the topic of nose
I don't know,
picking.
but that was pretty
I can
funny.
almost bet you that the picture on this photo is going to be a picture of a nose, or a guy picking his nose, perhaps.
I bet
Drew will probably select that.
I bet it will be.
So, hey, back to the topic at hand, though. So, understand their mindset's important. They got to have an outback mindset, flexible, looking for solutions. They've got to have some urgency to them and a good work ethic where they understand where you're coming from and when you're going to need things quickly. Our escrow officers, for example, we've got just a standard process where they're always going to get us our HUD requests back within 4 business hours or less, because
that's vital.
They know that, we got to turn this stuff quickly, and it's not to say that if we get it in eight business hours we're done for, but the idea is the quicker we get it, the quicker the bank notates they've received stuff, the quicker they'll review stuff. So if we can keep this person's file open that's on their desk, or we can keep that negotiator thinking about the file when we were on the phone with them that morning, better off we're going to be to get results sooner.
And because our escrow officer understands it, and she's also more on the aggressive side like we are. I mean, she understands and she sees the trends too, and she knows that once we start asking for multiple requests and a change on a HUD that we've had for a while, she knows that means the approval's coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
She said that. She's like, you guys, I don't mind it. I love it when I need to adjust this, and then you come back and say, hey, can you adjust that? Because I know that when you do that, we're going to get approval soon, and then we're going to be able to close on it a couple days later. Yep. So that's a key thing, but it takes a certain mindset of of an escrow officer, which is a pretty similar mindset, by the way. It takes that different mindset than your typical Sally escrow officer versus, say, like a Charlene escrow officer that's like amazing and on the ball with short sales.
Absolutely. So one other thing I want to share with you that our title officer does a really great job of, and I recommend your title officer does it, is what I'll basically call client management as well as approval letter management, and I think they kind of go together.
Yeah.
Meaning that our escrow officers are very careful to always review the approval letters, make sure the language within them is acceptable, make sure they can follow that language, make sure the good through dates on the approvals are within enough time to let us close, and then they do a really good job of managing the client, meaning keeping the client happy throughout the transaction, keeping them informed, keeping them educated on what's on the approval letters, helping them understand the transaction and keeping it all together. And then our escrow officers also always submit the final HUD and the approval letters back over to the bank to get their final approval. So understand that your approval letters that you're going to receive in a short sale transaction have certain specifications you need to meet, like have to send the final HUD for approval 48 or 72 hours beforehand. So our escrow officers are so awesome, they always take care of that. So let me just say it this way. I don't consider an escrow officer a third-party company. To me, my escrow officer, Charlene and Tessa and Sierra, all three of you,
they're part of our team.
You're like part of our team. Like, you don't work in the same office as us, and you don't work for the same company, but you're on my team. And that's how closely I think of an escrow officer and how much value. And I don't put a ton of weight in the company that anybody works for. I put a ton of weight in the people. I'm all about people. I'm not about companies.
Well, just like in our industry, I mean, in any business, it's not about the company. It's never about the company.
It's about the people that make up that company.
Absolutely. Yeah. So and that just really, that just really drives home. Same thing with the escrow side of things. If Charlene worked for, Bonehead Title Company, then Bonehead Title would be on all my contracts because that's just how it is. And like Fred said, she's part of our team, and we'll encourage you to go out and develop that type of relationship with your escrow officer too if you don't already have it, because you've got to be on the same page. You've got to be on the same team, working towards the same goal. And if you're not, I promise you this, it's hindering your short sale business. That's a promise. All right, guys, come on back tomorrow for more shortsalepowerhour.com. We're going to wrap it up like we always do. 1, 2, 3. Short Sale Power Hour. Short Sale Power Hour. Crush it.
Thanks, Charlene, Tessa, and Sierra.